What up, y'all? It's kind of Rapoet. So there's a new social platform. I just signed up. It's free. It's called Threads. It's by the Instagram network. And I got so many questions. And I got a couple answers for y'all that got more questions than me. So first of all, why did I join? I joined because I avoided every social platform. You know what I mean? And I was one of those ironic artists who was like performing shows, which I still do for a living, performing shows, meeting people in person. Why do I need to join a network and post what I'm eating for lunch and everything? And it took me a minute to realize that, like, in between shows or even while you're doing shows as an artist, it's helpful to reach the people who cannot come to your show. There's 8 billion people in the world, and maybe a couple thousand might be at your show. If it's a small show, maybe 50, 100, right? So what's up with the rest of the people? Do they just need to wait till you're on tour and you happen to be in their city a couple times a year? Or, I feel like it's fine to like be able to let artists contact you in this day and age. And that's one of the reasons why I joined this network. I never joined Snapchat. Actually, shout out to my homegirl that signed up to Snapchat for me. You looked out for me. I was lazy. We did one post on Snapchat, but I did join Twitter. I did join Facebook. I did join IG, and now I've joined this. So my first impression of it is that I don't get it. Just like any other platform, like what is this for? What purpose does it serve? And then it made sense to me once I realized that there's been this kind of like online beefish type beef, not a real beef, but something going on between um, Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, Meta, and Elon Musk, who recently took over Twitter. Although we don't really know him for Twitter, I wouldn't say I know him for Twitter, right? We know him for other things, but Twitter's one of those things on the list. And I have had Twitter for a while. It's definitely not something that is as exciting or interactive, or that the people that I communicate to really use Twitter as much. But I've still been on Twitter. I have noticed that Twitter has been different in a couple ways. One, a lot more spam recently on Twitter. Um, and two, not a lot of real interactivity. And then I've heard that they're limiting features on Twitter and all kinds of weird stuff like that. So now it makes sense to me why this new platform, Threads by the Instagram network, seems a lot like Twitter, but it's not Twitter, because there is this so-called like kind of rivalry, friendly or unfriendly rivalry between Facebook, Meta, and Twitter, or really Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, these two personalities. And people were saying, in the past week or past couple of days, that they was thinking about getting in a cage and boxing each other, right? And a lot of people's excited about that. I hate to be like, going against the grain or whatever, and not agree with all of my people on this, but I'm not really excited to see Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg fight each other. Um, I mean, I'm not, like, they're not fighters. You know what I mean? I like watching people who do what they do and appreciate the art of it. And I feel it seems like a bit weird. You know what I mean? It seems like when I hear about Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk fighting each other, it uh sounds like people who don't do something that are getting attention for doing it. Now, they're both very brilliant and educated people, and I'm sure they'll probably surprise me in the world if they do practice martial arts and study and honor the craft and so forth. But it's all about like really being able to withstand confrontation, and to have respect for your opponent. And for me, my personal perspective, whenever there's violence, it should be used minimally, and you should inflict the amount of damage on your opponent that is necessary to end the fight. So, uh, on one hand, I think it could be real entertaining and funny. That's like, in my culture, hip hop culture, we battle graffiti, we battle breaking, we battle MCing, you know what I mean? We battle DJing. Like, it can go back and forth because no one's actually getting painfully hurt. And it's interesting to see the creativity people come up with and how they can let people just say whatever they want to say or dance or express themselves however they want to say without hurting them. So anyway, that's a whole hip hop tangent because I got a book coming out soon, breaking the cycle. Hip hop 6 steps to nonviolence plus joy. So I'm really into this. I'm an educator. I'm an MC. I'm really into that type of stuff. I'm also a Kenyan nonviolence scholar, so I'm interested in how people can like express these urges within them to compete in a way that benefits all of us. That being said, I kind of like this new Threads by IG because I feel like what Meta and Zuckerberg have done with this is they have struck a blow to Elon and Twitter in a way that doesn't just inflict damage on somebody, which I'm not really into, but in a way that benefits all of us, in a way that creates a better service for all of us. Now, what that service is pretty much like Twitter. It's a free and open discourse for people. I do think that there's going to be discussions immediately about how artists can use it and who's the first artist to blow up on Threads and stuff like that. Of course, is coming. I've even seen a couple threads so far saying, "Hey, could people wait a couple days before you start selling coaching courses and promoting music and selling, retail items and stuff like that?" I'm not interested in that either, in prohibiting what people do. I mean, like, that's what these platforms are for. My opinion is, if you don't want to be involved in commerce and capitalism on these platforms, you don't have to. You know what I mean? But by all means, like, this is one thing that I didn't like about social media that I changed my perspective on, is why I'm on Instagram and was on Twitter and still am on Twitter, but I have a feeling I'll be less on Twitter now. But one thing I changed my view about is the idea that social media makes you act a certain way. What I found is the way people behave on social media is just an amplification of the way they behave in real life. So if you're an artist, you should have no shame in using social media to promote to your current fans and let them communicate with you in ways they might not be able to between shows and between releases. And be the same person you would if you'd be in person. People rock with you. They like your product. That's the thing. If you have like a predatory project or a project that is harming people against their better outcomes for your own personal gain or something like that, then you shouldn't be promoting that online or offline. But if you have a service or product that generally benefits people and makes the world a better place, then why would you feel ashamed to promote that and enhance that with these tools of technology rather than just go online and do whatever other people tell you to do? Now, I know there's going to be memes on Threads. I know there's going to be jokes. There's going to be entertainment. And yes, there's going to be people selling people. And hopefully, just like Threads compared to Twitter, the people who are trying to sell a product that make the product better will get more sales on that. And me as an MC, I'm competing in that space. Hopefully as a positive MC, someone who's interested in the culture of hip hop. Happy 50th hip hop, 50th anniversary this year. Hopefully I'll be able to interact with more of my peoples and connect with some new peoples on here. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go ahead and post this. I'll probably post this on my other platforms like Patreon and YouTube and everything like that. But I guess I'll see if I could post a link to this video on Threads by Instagram. The other thing though, besides what is it, which is basically a better version of Twitter and a way for Mark Zuckerberg to get in this fight before or without physically confronting Elon. I think the other thing that I noticed was that there are privacy terms and policies. So I'd be curious if anyone could reply to me on here and let me know if you've read through the privacy terms and policies and if you see anything interesting in there. Because, like, there's this series, if you haven't seen it, Black Mirror, I suggest you check it out. They're always pointing out that, when you sign up for these privacy terms and policies these days, there could be all kinds of stuff in it. Especially with artificial intelligence, it can get wild. So I'm curious about that. What do you think? What do you think are the shortcomings or the allowances in this day and age of artificial intelligence with these privacy terms and policies? Are there anything? Is there anything wrong with it that we should be aware of? Hit me up. Let me know that. Um, and then the other thing I noticed was it has a weird name. This is projected to become part of the Fediverse, which the Fediverse sounds like a great idea. The Fediverse is something where you can post between various platforms. So let's say you could post from an account on Threads to an account on like Instagram, or over the account on Facebook, or over the account on something called Mastodon, which they mentioned. I don't know what Mastodon is, but I like that idea of not always having to sign up for a new platform, but being able to compete between platforms. Like I just seen a Jazzy's World TV interview versus Nardwar. Love it. Marvel versus DC, love it. Like Twitter versus Meta versus Twitter, love it. So salute. I think Zuckerberg won this round, or Meta won this round. Um, I don't know. Maybe Twitter will recover with something else. Y'all both brilliant people as individuals, but I like when the consumer wins, and I think in this case, the consumer has won. I like to see more posts about how artists can benefit from using Threads on Threads on the IG network, and I'm sure that there will be many. So I will pause from posting all of my suggestions for now. But if somebody else doesn't do it soon, I will. I love peace, love unity, safely having fun. One, the rap poet, self-suffice, Hartford's troubadour.